Hi everyone, we're back for the second part of my Ronnie James Dio discography analysis and rating. So my Dio charts, and with this episode, where we will see my 10 favorite Ronnie James Dio albums. So let's start from number 10. Number 10 is Dream Evil. Alright, Dream Evil is a very good one, and it's the first record in which Ronnie had Craig Goldie on guitar. Craig is such a good player, such a great guitar player, and it was not easy. It was never going to be easy to follow up in the Dio band after what Vivian Campbell did, especially on the first album, Holy Diver, and the second, The Last in Line. Secret Art already was a little bit less inspired work by Vivian, and the tension was ramping up in the band between him and Ronnie, and we know that. So it didn't turn out as well as the others, but still, as I said, following Vivian Campbell was no easy feat, and Craig came from Rough Cut, together actually with the keyboard player Claude Schnell, because they were both playing in that band. It just established himself as one of the best guitarists that Ronnie could have chosen for this. It was probably a little bit more influenced by Ritchie Blackmore compared to how Vivian used to play. So this record has some of those rainbow qualities which were not always there in the first three Dio albums. Of course they were, because we all know Holy Diver. It's a perfect mixture between Black Sabbath and Rainbow in a way, but this is more on the Rainbow side, and it's something which I really appreciate. It's a good one. It has some amazing songs like All the Fools Sailed Away, my absolute favorite here. But then you also have I Could Have Been a Dreamer, which is as melodic as hell. It's great. Just listen to it. It brings you into another world completely. Night People is a great opener, and then you get the Sunset Superman, which is basically Ronnie making fun of his bandmates, especially Jimmy Bain, because people living the nightlife. Also Night People has some of that. Anyway, it's a very good record. It's a very good record with an amazing cover art. Probably my favorite cover art among the classics. Right after Holy Diver, of course, which is so iconic. But this is probably my second favorite from Dio's discography in terms of artwork. And what else is there to say? Nothing really. It's just a great record. So this is for position number 10, Dream Evil. Number 9, we got Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll. Alright, so what can I say? It's a classic, but from here on they are basically all classics. So Long Live Rock and Roll is the last Dio studio album with Rainbow, and you can hear on this record that Ritchie Blackmore was starting to be really into kind of a bit of a more commercial sound. You can hear it on songs like LA Connection and even Rainbow Eyes, which are definitely more commercial than what you could hear on previous records from Rainbow on the first two. Anyway, as I said, Lady of the Lake also is a little bit on the commercial side, but still you have those incredible songs like Long Live Rock and Roll, like Gates of Babylon especially, and Kill the King, which has been covered I don't even know how many times. It's considered one of the very first examples of a power metal song. Anyway, it's a great record, like all the stuff the Ronnie did with Rainbow, really. And it's just great. I mean, as I said, not as good as the first two, but still a masterpiece, right? So then, after that, we come to Magicka. Magicka. Magicka was the album that Ronnie did when Craig Goldie came back to the band. And so we already talked about Craig for Dream Evil, and he's an amazing player, as I already said. And Magicka was a concept album involving aliens and aliens finding some documents and stuff, and of a very old tale. It's complicated. It's complicated. You really should, just listen to it and read the extensive lyrics and story. Pick up a physical copy if you haven't it. I'm not going to retell you the whole concept because it's very complicated. Anyway, it's such a great album, and I think when it came out, I said, well, this is the best Dio album after The Last in Line, and to this day I still think it is. It has some wonderful, some riffing which is just incredible from Craig and Ronnie, because Ronnie was a songwriter, and he used to write also riffs because he could play guitar, so he would write some simple but very effective riffs. And you got the doomy songs like Lord of the Last Day, and you got the more rainbow feeling of stuff like Fever Dreams, a little bit more of a modern era sound, modern Dio sound, like Feed My Head. Feed My Head is one of those songs that probably, if Angry Machines was done of this kind of songs, very heavy and groovy and modern, but still melodic and still with the great feeling that all of the other Dio albums had, it would have made it a better album. Anyway, then you get an amazing ballad like As Long As It's Not About Love, and you got Lose My Insanity, which is a folk kind of folk medieval influenced stuff, again reminiscent of some Rainbow things. It's just great. Listen to it, and I feel so bad that Ronnie was taken from us when he was working on Magicka 2, because I'm sure it would have been great, and now we'll never see it. So it's disappointing. But what can you do? That's life. Life is disappointing sometimes. So many times. So next one, The Last in Line. The Last in Line is the second Dio album with the same lineup as the first. So Jimmy Bain on bass, Vivian Campbell on guitar, Ronnie of course on vocals, and Vinnie Appice on the drums. It is very similar with the way it's built to Holy Diver, because of course the band had perfected a formula with that album, which was a huge success, and they just went on with it and do more or less the same thing on The Last in Line. But it's such a good one, really inspired, and it has some very special songs. I'm sure you already are familiar with this album, but how can we talk about it and not talk about the title track and not talk about We Rock, which is it was tough to do an opener which was as good as Stand Up and Shout. This is as good as Stand Up and Shout. It's a little bit different, but it's an incredible heavy metal song. And then you also have those little touches of melody which are amazing, I think, and for songs like Mystery, which has a very pop sounding chorus, which I absolutely adore. It's so cool. You listen to it and you can sing it immediately. And then you have One Night in the City, which is also a very melodic song, but so full of passion. I don't know, I was speechless when I got to hear One Night in the City live on the Magicka tour, because I was not expecting it, because it's not one of the most famous songs, not even on this album. So what can we say? It's the last in line. I mean, it's freaking awesome. That's it. All right, so getting closer now to the top 5. So we're at number 6. Number 6 is the Humanizer. The Humanizer is, I mean, it's special for me, of course, because it was the first album that made me discover Ronnie's voice. You know, it came out when I was in high school, and just I was starting to get into metal, and it was actually Marco, my bandmate now in Crystal Endrakar. He was the one who lent me the cassette tape of the Humanizer, which he bought because he was going to the Monsters of Rock festival that year, and Sabbath were playing, and that is the album that they were presenting. So he got the tape, and they lent it to me, and I was hooked immediately. And I remember watching, seeing the video for TV Crimes on the precursor of MTV. It was called Video Music in Italy. All right, I saw that there many times, and I was hooked, and I immediately loved Ron's vocals, and the song was so good, and you know, driving and powerful. TV Crimes, absolutely great. So yeah, this is one of the, as you know, this is one of the albums that really made me fall in love with metal. This and the show that they did at the Monsters of Rock, which was broadcast on TV, so I get to see it, and I get to appreciate Ron's vocals even more. And after that show, I was like, this guy is incredible. This is one of my favorite singers ever that I've ever heard. And yes, he was, and he became sort of my number one icon in the metal world, as you probably know. So yeah, the Humanizer is really important to me. But on top of that, it's simply a great album with so many cool songs in it. It's incredible. It's unbelievable how great it is. Computer God. I know. I'm speaking about. I sound like those people on DVDs, you know, talking about how great their experience working on that movie was, even if it sucked, with all those. I mean, yeah, I know. I sound like a totally a fanboy, but that's what I am. So take it or leave it. You know, I'm such a fanboy of this lineup, and the Humanizer is great, and really made me fall in love with Black Sabbath. Computer God, After All, TV Crimes, Letters from Earth, Master of Insanity, Time Machine. Yeah, no, I'm reading tracklist because they are all so amazing. Even it's a song, incredible song, and Too Late is actually my first, the first song that I ever written. It was basically inspired by Too Late, you know, from this album. You will never get to hear that song because it sucks, but but it was inspired by this. It was my first, my first attempt to actually write any kind of music. Started from there. So yeah, it's wonderful, and to me, it's number 6. Are you ready for the top 5?